Whitey was the butcher. This guy was the dirt of the dirt.
I worshiped the ground that man walked on. I thought he was perfect.
What Bulger lived by was fear. People thought, he's crazy enough, he's gonna do it.
Whitey's just staring at me and just grinding his teeth. He said, I'll kill you. I'll stab you and then I'll kill you. I'm like, holy Jesus.
25 years where Bulger ruled the organized crime world. He was never charged with even a misdemeanor.
Whitey Bulger faces possible maximum life in prison.
Boston's most notorious mobster, James Whitey Bulger.
I get a blank check. I can do anything I want.
From the 80s, from the 80s, though. 80s, baby.
All right, thank you for tuning back in each and every Thursday to the Whitey Bulger Show, powered by Sickness.net and Live 365 Satellite Radio. This week, we got another stacked show. That track right there was 80s music by Reece Loc. We're going to get with him and chop it up in just a minute. But before we do that, we're going to head to the East Coast, the DMV, a.k.a. D.C., Maryland, Virginia, or the Mid-Atlantic right there, and chop it up with my boy, AWOL Dre, about his song, Cry For Me. Then we'll bring Reece Loc on. He's going to take us through the first half hour, start off that second half hour with him, and then we're going to finish the show off from South Jersey / North Philly. We got my boy Dre Streets checking in, talking about his song Safer. So we definitely going coast to coast again this week on the best indie rap show, period. We blasting this shit worldwide on Live 365 and Sickness.net. Tune in each and every Thursday. Send your music to Sickness.net. Order to paperchase.com. And always, we looking for some sponsors, some people to team up with to get their product out at events we run, on the radio, in print, on the net. And in addition to that, get it in the hands of the acts that we're dealing with every single week. So if you think that's something you'd want for your product, whether it be clothing, marijuana related, whether it be music related, whether it be whatever it could be, reach out to us. Yo, what's up? This is Whitey Bulger, calling from the Whitey Bulger Show. Is this AWOL Dre?
Yeah, this what's good, fam?
Chilling, man. How you doing this evening?
Man, I'm chilling, man. It's loving life, man.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you coming on the program. We're powered by the Sickness Network, which is a big West Coast website, and you're out on the East Coast. Let them know what city you from, where you repping.
Man, I represent Landover, Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C. Shout out to D.C.
Okay, dope. And I had a single sent to me by a producer named Rock, or Taylor Made Rock, and the name of the song is, let them know what the name of the track is.
Man, the name of the track is called Cry For Me. You know what I'm saying? Something a little soulful. You know what I mean? Something that you can really listen to. You know what I mean? No gimmicks, it's straight, lyrics. You know what I mean?
Definitely is. And it features one or two singers on it, is that correct?
No, it features my little sister, my homegirl, Sharika Love. Shout out to Sharika Love. She singing Code Red, CMG.
Okay.
And my man Rico, you know what I mean? Garcia Vega. Shout out to my man Garcia Vega. You know what I'm saying? My man. Yeah.
Nice. Now, the production on the beat, did you guys do that yourself, or do you have someone that you outsourced the track to, or how did that get done?
Yeah, man. That beat was actually from my man Cashmere Royale, and we got different producers we mess with. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of in-house. My man, Taylor Made, he nice on the production tip, man. So if y'all want some beats, he got some fire for you. So yeah, he do a lot of stuff, which you're gonna hear on my mixtape that's coming out. You know what I mean? The Last Days, dropping October 6th. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of more. You know what I mean? Different producers. Definitely a lot more fire from Taylor Made. And yeah.
Nice. So you have a tape dropping on October 6th. What was the name of it again?
It's called The Last Days, October 6th.
The Last Days, is it going to be available on a certain website like that PIF or live mixtapes, or are you putting it up in places?
Yeah, definitely. You can go ahead and get it The Last Days on Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, Deezer. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
So this is not a free project. This is a for sale for profit venture, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know what I'm saying? This is a little something. You know what I mean? Just to, you know what I mean? Keep your players right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for real, man, I appreciate you coming on the program. We keeping this interview short, but we're gonna drop this new single on them, and definitely. Is there any shout-outs, anything you want to let anybody know, and also drop the social media links on them so that people can follow you, okay?
Man, definitely, man. You can check me out, AWOL Dre. Everything's AWOL Dre. Facebook, AWOL Dre. Hit me on IG at AWOL Dre. That's AWOLDRE. You know what I'm saying? Hit me on Twitter at AWOL Dre. You know what I mean? Look out for The Last Days dropping October 6, 2015. Go ahead and get that, you know what I'm saying? Definitely good music, no gimmicks, straight spittage, you know what I'm saying? Like, just straight raw, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Straight real. And, you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody in Code Red Music Group. You know what I mean? Shout out to my girl Sheeta. You know what I mean? Shout out to E. Naj. Shout out to my man Tellermaid Rock. Shout out to Sharika Love. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody in Annapolis, Maryland, everybody in Landover, D.C. You know what I mean? That's what it is, man. It's your boy AWOL.
For real, I appreciate you checking in, and we will talk to you soon, all right, AWOL Dre?
Yeah, and shout out to you, too, man. Thank you for having me, brother, for real.
Definitely, man. So bring your people tomorrow night, Thursday. We live on the Whitey Bulger Show, powered by Sickness.net, all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Got you, baby. One.
Hey, what's up? This is Whitey calling from the Whitey Bulger Show. Is this Reece Loc?
Yeah, this is Reece Loc. What's good?
What's cracking, man? Obviously, I know who you are, but go ahead and introduce yourself again to the audience and let them know where you're from, sir.
Yeah, this is Reece Loc out of Fresno, California.
All right. Nice, man. We got the second artist I've had from Fresno, so excited. Hopefully the show is growing up in that area.
Yeah, definitely.
I seen the other day some, like, crazy wildfire somewhere around there. I don't know, Fresno's in Fresno County, correct?
Yeah. It's the main city in Fresno County. Yeah, it's probably fires all through that thing right now.
Nice, man. Well, stay away from the fires. And obviously, I brought you on here to talk about music, not forest fires. So, I got a chance to listen to a couple tracks off your new project. Definitely excited to play them for the audience. But first, let's get into it. What got you into rapping, and how long have you been doing it? Is this your first project? Let them know a little history on yourself.
Okay, what got me into rapping was growing up. In my household, music was a big thing, as it is growing up as a child. So, being raised up where music is like a big thing. I mean, I always had that inspiration to, want to do music when I got older. So, when I got into probably, 5th, 6th grade, got a hold of a Mac Dre tape. I was always, just talking with my friends about doing music when I got old enough, getting in the studio and, bumping Mac Dre's first album. That's when The Chronic came out, the Dr. Dre's first album, Be Legit just came out, Trying to Get a Buck, E40. And, music was just a big thing where I grew up at in the environment. So, I got old enough to, get some money together and, got my own studio shit and started doing music. And, that's pretty much how I started doing music. So,
Dope. Well, honestly, I seen one of the names of your song is I'm from the 80s, correct? Or I'm an 80s baby? Something to that effect. And I was like, it's around my age. I grew up at the same time, obviously, with the NWA movie and everything coming out. The sound, the artists that were big when we were, I guess you'd say, kids, are definitely still around and made an impact. So that's, the people you're talking about.
That record right there, that track, I got a big influence. Obviously I listened to Too Short growing up as well. Who didn't, in that era. So, I always wanted to, take it back pay a little homage, you know, for that sound right there. And, you know, if you hear them little kicks in there in the bass line, you know, that's just too short all the way, you know. So.
Honestly, when I was going through your album, I was like, dude, I know this sound from somewhere. I know this sound from somewhere. There's a lot of, you know, classic, I guess you'd say, synth noises or stuff that you obviously was sampled somewhere or was taken off of something, but, you know, they're classic sounds. And I definitely got that feeling off the tracks that I've listened to so far. Curious, do you do your own production, or is this something that's just outside?
I don't do my own production, like, hands-on myself, but what I do is I got, like, you know, about 3 or 4 producers that I work real closely with, and we get together, and I put my inputs on what I want to hear. So I got some producers that make their own sound as well, but, you know, when I'm working on an album, I work real closely with them so I can get what, you know, what my you know, sound is, you know what I mean, got to be. So, I mean.
So you're there for the pre-production. You don't just buy a beat offline and say, let me get on this. Because I was wondering, you know.
A couple, you know, I do. A couple I do. But mostly if I'm working on an album, it's got to be sounding a certain way, you know.
For sure. Now, I'm curious because I'm, you know, like I said, we're a little bit older. Now, this project is a mixtape, correct? That's what it's titled as?
Actually, the 2 songs that I gave you is from a project called Post-War Syndrome that I just dropped. And that song called From the 80s is on an album that I dropped like a month before I dropped this one called If It Ain't Mobbin', I Ain't Fucking With It, Volume 2. So
that's what I saw that. Okay.
Yeah, so 2 different projects, but.
Got you, man. So you're definitely putting in work. The first one that you mentioned there, is that what you consider an LP like release, like it's, and then the other one was it said was it a mixtape? Did you have some industry beats on there, or did you just title the 2 like basically one was something you kind of gave out to get the buzz going, and then the second one was the follow up album? Is that kind of how it played out?
I mean they're both LPs.
Got you.
Actually, that's man, I got like 15 albums out, Whitey. You know.
Well, goddamn, you know, I got more homework to do. That's for sure.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, you know, I know you be pushing music. I was basically introduced to you from somebody else, and I was like, damn, this dude's always on here. So I didn't realize it was that serious of a catalog. So you've been doing this. You got 50 projects out. You got to have been doing this for a while.
I mean, shit, okay. For a while, I mean, it's 2015, so I can say I've been making music since 2011. You know what I mean? And basically, I'm just real consistent with it. You know, I'm dropping stuff every 90 days. I'm always getting inspired by, you know, obviously to do music, you got to love music as well. So I'm always tuning in what else is going on at the time. And, I just get inspiration from other people, you know, and I work on a new album or kind of like, you know, what, I don't know if you follow Mac Dre too well, but, you know, he dropped albums and he, you know, got characters he based his albums off of, or, you know. That's what I kind of do a little bit with my albums.
I'm an East Coast guy, so a lot of these artists, even Mac Dre, like, I listen to his hits, you know what I'm saying? But being on the East Coast, it was different back then when we were growing up, you know what I mean? Like, when you bought a CD, it was like, you know, $15. That was some serious money. You know what I mean? And it was like,
no
I was going to get Wu-Tang. I wasn't going to get Mac Dre. You know, I went and got Snoop Dogg, but I didn't, you know what I mean? But being out here now, I've had, with the internet, being in the business I'm in, I've been introduced to West Coast music over the last 10 years so much more, and it's like, all right, now when you compare it, it's like, okay, I understand exactly kind of where this artist was in a line with someone else. So I get what you mean there, and you putting out all that work, correct? Have you done some features with some artists on the West Coast that we would know of, or has this all been just like, yo, man, this is me just song after song after song of yourself, or have you?
No, I mean, I've worked with, I worked with a lot of people from California, you know, all the way to Kansas City to Denver to Louisville, Kentucky. I mean, you know, I worked with Hollow Tip, AWAX, Ron from Kansas City, C-Dub out of Sacramento, Ryder J. Clyde, He
nice.
flips
Well,
the Hustler, Interstate Ike from Denver, Colorado. He's real big over there in Colorado. Key Loom, my partner Key Loom.
I know.
Cricket out of San Diego. You know, I made a record with him, an album. He produced a lot of stuff in my early days. Manus the Jeweler out of Anchorage, Alaska. Man,
okay.
I work with a lot of people,
so
man.
We definitely got a lot of the map covered there, so that's dope. In terms of, like, obviously there's a couple aspects to becoming I guess you'd say a well-known artist. Is you got to have, you got to have the music, then you got to have the fan base, you got to have some shows under your belt. Have you been doing shows as well? Is that something that
you know what? As far as the show thing, that's kind of been slow. Everybody just can't jump into doing shows. A lot of people nowadays, I mean, you got these promoters out here who really charge people to, perform these days if you're not the headliner, So it's really hard to get in the show scene. But I tell you what, in the past 6, 7, 8 months, I've been getting hit with a lot of people wanting me to, come perform and open up out of town, out of state. And actually, I'm in a predicament right now where I can't even leave the county, So I'm on some super family probation right now, which I'm getting off in a couple weeks. So I got a show lined up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with Coolio the Underdog, and that's going to be the first big show. I've done littler shows in the past, but as far as really putting out albums and having albums on the shelf and get my catalog out there on iTunes and everything, this is going to be the first show. So some things you got to wait for, and other things come easy. I can make an album all day, but doing shows and really having fans around the country now, it's been really picking up in the past year and a half, So it's a slow process, it's all work.
Definitely, man. I totally understand where you come from. It's like a balancing act as an artist, and you're only one person, right? So it's not like you got departments for everything. It's not like you have unlimited funds for this. I'm sure you have other shit going on, like you mentioned. It's like music's great, but you know what I mean? It's one of those things. So I appreciate your honesty there. Now, in terms of the music that you sent me, why don't you go ahead and just let them know the names of the tracks, and then kind of who did the production on each one. And then we'll just talk about each one real quick.
Gotcha. Okay, the first song I sent you off of If It Ain't Mobbin', I Ain't Fucking With It, Volume 2, is called I'm From the 80s. And the production is by Tony Snow, one of my close friends out of Portland, Oregon. And he makes a lot of mob, kind of updated mob sound that, I like. So I work real closely with him on, when we're working on the album. So he produced that, and I sent you a track called Internal Revenue, which is off a 10-song album, no features. It's all solo, all me, my first album that I'd had no features on. It's called Post-War Syndrome, and that track was produced by Golden Eye, 95 out of Akron, Ohio. He produced a lot of stuff for Al Pacino and a lot of people in Akron. And,
nice.
The other track I sent you, I can't remember the damn name of it right now, but
hold on
that
one second.
is.
I'll tell you exactly what it is, my friend. All right. And obviously, just by you naming the production, you're getting stuff from all over the country, so that's dope right there. So the last you said internal. It's rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Okay. Yeah, that's from Post-War Syndrome as well, and that's also produced by Golden Eye. He produced that whole album. I had one producer. I worked real close with one producer for that whole album. I had no features on it, and I just killed the whole album by myself. My own stories, real life shit, man. So I had to leave everybody out on that one.
Now I see how you've been churning music out. So just from my own, I got some follow-up questions. Do you do your own recording at your home? You have your own system set up where you can do a lot of the pre-production? Because I know it gets expensive renting studio time out left and right. So how do you have it set up to be able to be recording so much? You have your own little gig set up right now?
I mean, when I first started, I used to go to a bunch of friends' studios and stuff, and actually, pay. And then I kind of, I'm from Fresno, California. I kind of wiggled around a little bit doing, miscellaneous things and getting money. and started saving my money and invested in some studio equipment, top of the line mic preamps. I mean, you don't need too much to record on your own, I mean, I got an engineer.
No.
I mean,
Nice.
Pro Tools, get you a good mic, get you a mic preamp, get you an inbox speakers, get you an isolation panel for the microphone, whatever.
Oh.
So, yeah, anytime I want to record, I just walk in my garage, it's all sealed off like a real studio, so.
Hell yeah. Well, that's dope. And for all the people out there throwing money down the drain, if you think you got it, I owned a studio a ways back, so I learned, dude, eventually, like, all you got to do is hit the space bar and it'll start recording.
Yeah.
If you can do that much, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
You can be able to record yourself and then take it to someone to get mixed and then learn how to do that. And once you do that, man, you'll be able to spend money somewhere else. Is all.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you've noticed that, hey, now that I got that money from the pre-production saved, I can maybe put some ads up over here, or I can pay more for a cover or whatever it may be,
Yeah, I mean, especially when you get all that. I mean, I've been working on a lot of promotion lately. I'll be on sickness.net real heavy, with the banners and promoting on there daily. And so I'm just starting to sprout out with the promotional, tools and blog spots and what have you. But, yeah, as far as recording, I mean, I worked with a lot of big people, in the game, and they come over here. They don't even know how to record themselves. But, it is a hard task because I swear, Whitey, it took me about 1.5 years straight to learn how to record myself on Pro Tools. So, I mean, it ain't as easy as people think. You can't just come in here and just think you're just going to record an album, No. And I agree with you 100%. I mean, just doing, like, the basic editing is that's when I fall asleep. But I know how to start the recording. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, that's easy. But, I mean, it really is difficult, though. But, working at it for as long as I've been doing it now, it's just like second nature, You just come in here and you exactly know what you're going to go through,
Yeah. And I'm 5'9" with the shit, dog.
Whitey was the butcher. This guy was the dirt of the dirt.
I worshiped the ground that man walked on. I thought he was perfect.
What Bulger lived by was fear. People thought, he's crazy enough, he's going to do it.
Whitey's just staring at me and just grinding his teeth. He said, I'll kill you. I'll stab you and then I'll kill you. I'm like, holy Jesus.
25 years where Bulger ruled the organized crime world. He was never charged with even a misdemeanor.
Whitey Bulger faces possible maximum life in prison.
Boston's most notorious mobster, James Whitey Bulger.
I get a blank check. I can do anything I want.
It's one of those, like, by necessity things, too. You start learning it. It's kind of like, I'm an independent side as well in music. So, like, certain things I got to do. Oh, you need a cover that bad? You really don't need someone? Okay, I'm gonna make a cover. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
See, if I studied a Photoshop, too, I could do it.
And it's like, if you're going to wait until the end of time and not release this song because of a cover, then I'm going to go ahead and make one on this napkin right here.
See? That's what I'm saying. That applies too.
So just to kind of carry on that question there, so I see you putting out all these projects and everything. Are you signed to a label, or do you do that yourself and you have your own distribution? Is that how you're working it totally indie? What's the business behind your business? Like, how does it work for you?
Business behind my business is basically, I got my own little, Green Time Entertainment, which is, my own little small independent label. And basically, started from the bottom. I mean, you got to do your own footwork. You got to, you get your own one sheets, EPKs. You got to call the stores. You got to get on the shelf. You got to fax shit over. I mean, I'm just doing all the footwork myself, And
nice.
I mean, it's been a rough road, Whitey. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's not easy, but that's gonna be when at the end when you make it, man, or when you honestly, I haven't made it. You know what I mean? I'm not no millionaire off music, but I eventually got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm satisfied knowing that I put in the effort I put in. So everything else is a bonus. You know what I mean?
That's how I feel. I actually just thought about that. That I mean, you know, if I make some money, you know, off the music. I'm not, you know, I ain't made $1 off it. I can't say that. I done made some good money. You know, every time I drop a project, I sell out. You know, not super thousands of units, but, you know, I know how many fans I got, and I know how much to print up every time I drop something. And, you know, I sell projects, you know, from here to across the country. Not as far as where you're at, but, you know, that's the next mission. But putting in all the footwork on, you know, your own stuff. And on digital side, you know, I was messing with CD Baby for a while. They're pretty good digitally if you're independent. And you do got some fans. I mean, CD Baby is a good distribution place for you to start out at. And so I released, let me see, about 6-7 projects on CD Baby. And then, you know, doing my promotional tool on sickness.net, you know, I got a partner, Coop, which I'm sure you know Coop. And, you know, I got a distribution deal through Coop, through Empire. So now I get a better split on some money, and now I'm free to make as many albums I want, upload as many albums. So that's a blessing right there for me to just, you know, I ain't got to pay for upload no more. I just get to work and upload whenever I'm done, you know?
Real shit. So, me personally, I've noticed, I don't know what you've noticed, but I've switched like part of my game to where I don't care if I'm releasing a 30-track LP. I'm releasing it all in singles.
No shit.
I swear to God, man, I think that the business is just gone that way, that where it's like everyone's in this, I guess you would say it like, you know when you go to McDonald's in the value menu and everyone will order off the value menu, but you could have got the same meal right over here for whatever, like people just, they like to buy singles. That's where I'm at with it. I don't know. I mean, I'm putting out albums, but when I put them out, I'm putting them out with 15 different covers.
Yeah. No, you know I mean, you know, I understand that because, you know, when I check on my monthly, you know, reports or I mean, whatever, what have you, every time I look it up, you know, you get one person from, like, say I got a printout the other day, and the printout was like from one dude in Tulsa, Oklahoma that had downloaded a bunch of songs of mine, and he downloaded like, you know, 2 songs off this album, 1 song off this album, 3 songs off this album, and people really is not just buying whole albums digitally no more, you know. They want the best songs. They want to search and see, you know, what they like the best, and they'll download them, you know. So out of all the, you know, 12, 13 albums that are on iTunes of mine, I mean, there is a lot of people buying whole albums, you know, but, you know what I mean, I swear it's probably 70%, maybe high 80% that people are just buying hella singles, you know. So that's why it's good for you to put some money behind a good single and promote that and push that as far as you can go, because that one single, you know, you just never know.
You know what is funny is, like, from my perspective, man, because I work in distribution, it's like I take a million shots. You feel me? Like I have a million people out here putting music out, and I support all of it, you know what I mean, as best I can.
Yeah.
But you're right. If you're an artist or a label, you're so much better off when you first come out. I personally feel like if you're an upcoming artist, you come out, you make 4 or 5 songs that you learn that are like kind of like crowd pleasers, and learn how to perform them and push them. So those people get familiar with those songs when they show up at your shows. They know what you're singing. That's the way to do it. And then take one song. I mean, that's more of a, I guess you would say, a mainstream artist way of doing it, but that's how I think the blueprint's there, you know?
I mean, they put the blueprint out there for you, you know what I mean? So even though we underground independent, I mean, you can't just not look at what the bigger people are doing, because they're the ones making the money, you know? So
yeah, and you know what it comes down to, man, it's the love of money, Reece. Is that, you know, are you just going to sit there and just try and just do it the money way, or do you love the music in you're like yourself, where in 4 years you put out 15 albums? Now that's awesome.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But you might have 4 songs in there which you already could have been rich and famous if you had just made those 4 and been pushing them. You know?
You know, that I think about that all the time. You know, I mean, it's a lot of projects I wish I could take back. And also, you know, talking to a lot of people that got more knowledge in the game that, you know, I look up to, or I work with still, you know, they be like, you know, I got all this good material on all these albums, and if I would have just, you know, worked on something, I mean, don't get me wrong, I got quality albums that, you know, the whole CD is good, you know, but putting out all these albums, you know, I have a lot of friends that be like, damn, Reece, you know, you're giving them too much. Or, I mean, look at all these albums you dropped in such a short amount of time. I mean, that's me. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to go hard at it no matter what it is, if it's in the street, in the lab, or even at a 9 to 5, you know, no matter what it is, I'm going to go hard at anything I do. But if I would have just took the best material out of all these past 3 years, you know, and put it into one solid album and put all my money behind that, you know, I mean, just imagine what I could have did. But, I mean, like you said, you learn and you grow, you know, so.
Yep. Real shit, man. And I, again, appreciate the honesty, you know, for the independent artists, because that's what this show is all about, listening. I mean, there's different ways to do everything. And I have done pretty much every way there is at one point, you know what I mean? And it's still hard, you know what I mean? I still ain't rich from this shit. I still just do it for the love of the music, but at the end of the day, you know, I see that you pushing that movement hard and the line hard, and I hope that things pay off for you.
Definitely.
What I would say, you know, what I would say next, hit them with your social media so that they know where to reach you at, and then let them know what's coming up next, and then any shout-outs you got, let's drop them on them, and I'll let you go, all right?
Okay, for sure. You can hit me on Facebook, ReeceLoc.559, Twitter, ReeceLoc559, and Instagram, ReeceLoc559. And what I got coming next is me and my partner from Fresno, the boy P. We got this album called Trying to Get a Buck coming next. And we redoing the first Be Legit album. We retroing it, and we remade some beats off of it. I don't know if you're familiar with the first Be Legit album. But
nah, honestly, it's something I'd have to break out to listen to.
Okay, I mean, it's a classic where we come from. So, I mean, we had to remake. We made a couple beats off of it, did the same cover, put our twist on it. And then I got an album coming with my my bro, International Scheme, called Rubber Bands and Packs. And then I got Post-War Syndrome Volume 2 that I'm actually working on as another solo with no features. I mean, I'm just working, you know, like you said.
Hell yeah.
For the love of it. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I'm not in this lab with it turned on, you know what I mean, trying to, make some good quality music, you know. If I make a song a day, you know, I mean, out of a month, it's going to be something good in there, you know.
Yep,
so,
definitely, man. I that's some real shit.
I got so many projects coming out. I can't even really talk about all of them right now. But you know what, Whitey, is getting better and better each month. You know, I mean, like you said, the independent game is real hard. I got some dope projects coming, and it's going to take me further. And you know, maybe more money. Maybe the game is up and down. But I like to give a shout out to a couple producers, you know, Tony Snow, GoldenEye, C-Dub, International Scheme. Shout out to Coop from Sickness. You know, he always showed me love on there. Eclipse the Huss, E-Nut, Hollow Tip, C-Dub. Man, it's too many other people to name. But, yeah, that's what it is, Whitey.
Oh, I appreciate it, man, and obviously – you know, shout out to Fresno. I got to make it out there. I know there's a Jay Stalin show coming up that Coop's got his fingers in, so I'm going to try and make it out to that.
It is.
I'm going to try and make it out to that, but I don't like to announce my arrivals and departures too often. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you on that.
But I think Fresno got love for Whitey, so I appreciate your time tonight, man. And
I appreciate you.
We're gonna drop these 3 tracks on them. We're definitely gonna have you back season 3 to check in and see what's new with you. And
for sure.
I'll go ahead and I'll drop you off the line. And I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. All right?
No problem. 100, Whitey.
All right, peace, Reece.